Welcome back to Don't Wake the Baby. You join Emma and Elliot here in the editing room of the podcast, the Podcraft. It's a special New Year episode where we're sharing lots of outtakes and bonus content, clips, stories, all the stuff that couldn't be squeezed into a lot of the other episodes. Many of them, there's lots of tangents and a conversation that overran and didn't make it into the final cut. And here is a special episode where we get to share some of that with you.
Bum, 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 bum.
So, Emma, what's our topic for today?
Pregnant.
You said you were ready.
I was ready.
I said, do you know what you're going to say?
I wanted to say pregnancy, but I'm worried people think we're like getting pregnant. So it'd be like the experience of being pregnant.
Yeah, whatever you like.
Okay. I don't want people to think we're going to give them advice on how to get pregnant. I think that's like a different episode.
Right, okay.
I don't want people to think they'll have like a step-by-step thing. I mean, it's probably quite an interesting episode of like trying to get pregnant and like, you know, the different, not as in positions, but the different methods and like ways people go about it. Like some people like go like, you know, this is what ovulating and very scientific. Some people just try throughout like the month. It is probably quite interesting, but that's not what we're tackling.
True. How honest how personal do we go with some of these conversations? I mean, we were trying for a baby. So like there's differences, isn't there, between
and surprise babies, when you're not trying for a baby,
and all sorts of stuff. But if we do an episode on that at some point, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if there's enough to talk about with that or not. I don't know.
No. What if people are interested and not in a freaky way?
That's true. It's a bit weird putting it like that.
Then I'm sure we can cover it at some point.
I feel like there's a whole probably conversation around like how do you get pregnant when you've already got a child?
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have much time for,
That could be an episode like send tips what to do with your other child.
Testing.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you feeling lively?
No, I feel a bit sick.
Oh dear.
It's because I haven't eaten yet.
Oh.
People can't tell, we've just woken up. That's why we're a good stretch. Have you heard a click just then? Oh, and just then. One of them was my wrist and one of them was Elliot's back.
Oh no, Hiccupy's back.
I haven't even drank anything.
Hiccupy's back.
Sorry, I don't think I'm going to hiccup again.
Are you going to cough again?
I don't know.
Unwind to some conversation by us about parenting, have a bit of fun, bit of quirky humour, bit of us banter stuff between us, not speaking words.
He's really eloquent, isn't he?
Yeah, that's definitely my forte, eloquence. Why am I hosting a podcast?
Adam.
You should be doing all this bit.
Can you tell he doesn't have a script with him today?
I think it sounds like this all the time, mostly,
well,
doesn't it?
Probably true, probably.
That's why people listen. What level have we reached today? Do you want me to tell you the ones that I was thinking of sharing, or do you want to ask the question and I can share?
I can ask the question.
Okay.
How do you normally ask it?
I don't know. How would you like to ask the question?
Okay. Hope you know I'm still cradling an injury that my partner gave me yesterday.
Oh, it's still injured?
We were playing a game where he was like a crocodile in a tent and he was snapping at Lily's hands.
I mean, Lily did start the game.
Oh, she did, yeah. And then, I don't know if I was going to make it into the podcast. And then Lily made
It'll go in
me
the
put
outtake episode.
my hand in, and then he very violently snapped my hand. He didn't snap my hand, like he snapped at it like a crocodile. And he like bruised my thumb, I think, because it still hurts today, and it really hurt when it happened. But Lily did kiss it better and was assuring me that it would be better.
Well, that's nice. Yeah. There you go. So if you're listening, have you got a similar story, experience that you've, had where you've lost a toddler and found them again, hopefully?
Yeah.
Or have you had people awkwardly ask you when you're having your next child?
Or have you had your toddler get lost in a shop, and then what did you do about it? Like, I want to know, are people tracking their kids like I want a tracker?
That's interesting.
Did people do reins? Did people just tell them off?
Yeah, I feel like reins were all the rage back in our day.
They were.
Like,
I think people look at you nowadays, though, if you have reins as a kid.
I've not seen a kid on, like,
I've seen those things round their hands.
Yeah.
Like, you connect your hand to their hand. It's not quite a rein.
Yeah.
I think people are more accepting of that.
Or, like, we've got quite a few things where it's like a little backpack that also happens to have a little kind
rein
of
thing on it.
So it's a little bit less like, we are strapping you to us.
Yeah. My problem is I'm so worried now. I don't care about the judgment. It's gone. I'm like, you think I'm holding on like a dog? I'm holding like a dog. I can't do it.
There you go. So if what's your parenting achievement been this week? Let us know. And if you get in touch with us, we can feature it on a future episode and share your story, your achievement, fail, whatever it might be, common experience. You can get involved more with the kind of the community and the questions and send us stuff over on Instagram or on Facebook at don'twakethebaby_podcast. Whereas next time, I'm sure it'll be different, but hard in a different way.
Yeah,
where I might
true.
have a child in tow.
I'm like, take her with you.
But then you might just be forced to do more as well.
I think you just have to end up doing more, don't you? Cravings we haven't gone on to.
Yeah, so that was the thing we were kind of going into. We've talked again a little bit about this because we often dart around topics in podcasts. So we've mentioned before that you were really into beans.
Beans and Milka bars.
Yeah.
Really loved Milka bars.
But you didn't have many cravings, really.
I more had like a lot of aversions to foods.
Yeah.
Like bacon was disgusting.
Yeah.
Even cheese.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Eggs. Didn't like eggs.
Yeah. But then at one point you were really into salt, I think.
Yes.
Like salty things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird.
I was very impressed with like the way your body dictated, and then you'd kind of analyze it a little bit and go, oh right, so your body kind of knew you needed more like protein at this point, or at this point you needed more of this, or you didn't need that, and therefore it was like trying to direct you a little. I mean, I don't quite know where chocolate and crisps fit into that, but for some of the things, like when you suddenly had a craving for salty food, it felt like you were being like steered towards.
And I think it also kind of almost made me avoid dangerous food. Like eggs could be a bit dangerous, bacon could be a bit dangerous.
Yeah.
And I still would have eaten them, but like my body was like, no, we can't. We can't stand them.
I'll make you not like them.
Yeah, we're not liking this for a bit.
Yeah, because I remember them being a thing where they were cautious of you eating pre-cooked meats, weren't they? They were like, cook it yourself, because then you can be sure it's safe.
Yeah. But yeah, I had more aversions to food than cravings to food, which I feel like that's the worst way around.
Yeah, probably.
Like, there might be fun cravings you could have and eat a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that as much.
Again, it was a distinction of being our first child and not having another, a toddler in the house.
Yeah.
Meant that you could sit and eat quite a lot. And
I could send him out. I'd be like, I really fancy this Monster Munch crisps. You can't get me some.
So I wonder if it's a thing that like you were bigger with the first pregnancy and maybe won't be quite as.
I think that's true, because I think I'll just have to move about more.
We won't like have capacity just to go out and buy like a ton of chocolate.
Yeah. Well, not share it.
It's true. You have a little one that's like, that looks tasty.
Looks great.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a challenge, isn't it? Because Lily likes to feed us food.
Yeah.
To be like, look, Mama doesn't want that right now. Don't feed her your food. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying some people do suit their names and some people don't suit their names as much.
It is fascinating, isn't it? Because part of me thinks we are almost describing what some people would call like a spiritual kind of thing of like a connection to something that is other.
Yes.
You see the child and you kind of know, it's almost like true love and like kind of just sense of.
Like you see the child and you know their name.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not very like that.
I think it's nice if you want to do that.
No, I almost wish sometimes I had kind of more of that.
But
I feel so kind of grounded and
yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
I think my thing is I also really like name meanings.
Oh yeah.
So like, this is FYI, we already have a list of girls' names for future children. And all the like names on those lists, I look up for like, what would the meaning of this name be?
So you like it to be well thought out rather than a
Yeah,
spur of the moment
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm like, oh, I want it to have a nice meaning, and I want it like, because a lot of people know you don't want to name the child after somebody you dislike. So my problem is, if I've ever met someone in life and I don't like their name, that's it. Can't have that name for a child.
Yeah.
So it means it limits you. You have to know people you like with the name.
Yeah. Hello, we're back. But it's just interesting. Yeah.
Also interesting. This is another French versus. This one I say it's quite medieval in that they measure you like the size of your child with like a tape measure from feel, which is very inaccurate. It's like when they first did it in my house, like how on earth can you tell what size my child is? Like, and I'm sure like, you know, it kind of gives you a rough guess, but when Becky in France was getting like a scan every other week, she knew exactly how much big it was, how much it weighed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is like guesswork at best. This isn't like an accurate thing of how big our baby is.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of it feels quite old-fashioned, despite, you know, the things of modern medicine that can do so much nowadays.
Just going to do a little insert. One of the things that's new this series that I'm promoting is on our webpage, we've got a little section where you can find various different baby and toddler groups around Yorkshire particularly, as that's where we're based. So apologies if you're listening from further abroad, but further abroad.
Well, it could be abroad.
Could be abroad, couldn't you? You know, away, outside of Yorkshire.
Yeah. Those terrible lambs outside of Yorkshire.
You can be an honorary one like me who's infiltrated. I'm not a proper Yorkshire person.
Well, I'm not either.
Well, you're kind of close.
I'm closer, yeah.
You where you were in your farm used to be Yorkshire.
Historically, it was. Yeah. Yes, you're right.
And then they redrew boundaries and
kicked us out.
County Durham. There you go. There's your kind of
my Yorkshire link.
Yeah.
And my mum's from Yorkshire, so
that's true. And what was I saying? Oh, if you're, looking for places to go with your little ones, babies or toddlers, to do activities, stay and play type groups, all that sort of stuff, then we've got a big list on our website of various different ones that are held or hosted in Methodist churches around our area. And so you can have a look on there for just a huge list of different ones that might be local to you that we would recommend that you might want to check out. Because they're very easy to go to and, provide something for you. So hopefully that's useful.
Yeah. I used to love going to groups.
Yeah. Also, if you're listening to this because you've discovered us through one of the toddler groups, messy churches, baby things that are happening, you're very welcome. Great to have you with us. I know a lot of those groups are big supporters of the podcast and are promoting us, which is fantastic.
Very kind.
You can find out more about all this, our links with the Methodist Church and with the Kairos Movement over on our webpage, www.kairosmovement.org.uk/Don't Wake the Baby.
Shh.
It reminds me of a Bluey episode, which is not available on Disney, called Dad Baby.
Oh, yes.
Maybe some of you out there won't have seen it. If you're a big Bluey fan, you can find it online, but it's censored by Disney for some unknown reason. They haven't said why.
I think because almost shows childbirth, and for some reason that's unnatural for people to
kids can't
see.
be shown the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's a kid's cartoon. It's not exactly graphic.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and just it reminded me of a bit in that where Bandit's carrying around their little toddler who's pretending to be a baby and is like kicking him violently in the stomach.
Yeah. It's what it felt like.
Yeah, definitely.
We are quite lucky. She loves drawing. Our main problem is she's not into, which I know is not a problem, but she's not really into screens. So like the other day, me and Lily were out eating at Pizza Express. And like she actually really loved the dough balls, did well with them, and then ate her ice cream. But it was a thing where like she was then losing patience. And I was like, oh, I need some drawings. Did drawing for a bit. That was great. Almost got to finish my meal. And then it was just, she was like starting to want to run around. And I was like, we're in a restaurant. Can't run around. So I was like, let's put Bluey on. Wasn't interested. Let's put Minnie on. Wasn't interested. And I was like, if you were a child who really liked just watching something, this would be a great time for you to sit down and be quiet and watch. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, screens aren't great, but I'd really like it if she'd be a bit more engaged to give me the extra 5 minutes to finish without having to be like, Lily, sit, Lily. And then, yeah. In the end, Elliot came and was a hero, but I was just like, this is not going well. Ugh. Yeah.
Yep.
He's going to cut all of that out because I've gone on too long.
Yeah. You know when I've gone silent. I'm like, you know I said I was trying to wrap us up towards the end of the episode.
Like you're talking into the void. Because no one's going to hear it.
It will make it into the bonus outtake episode. Despite the fact that we've played both quite a big role in her upbringing and looking after her and stuff, she's still very attached to you and quite clingy. But
this is, parents will have to tell me. People keep being like, oh, it's a phase. And I'm like, I've been told this since she was 6 months. And this phase hasn't stopped yet. It's true that it gets more intense and less intense, the attachment. But she's not flipped. Like a lot of people are like, oh, then the dad will become the favourite. And I'm like, it just hasn't happened. And I was, in the nicest way possible, really looking forward to it. Because she asks the primary person for everything. Like, can I have a drink? You know, mama, drink, mama, this. And I'm like, ask him. It's right there. And she will, when you like probe her to be like, well, why don't you ask the other person? She will. But I just think it'd be nice, just for a little bit. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to be the favourite forever. I'm just saying for a bit. Have a pause where he's the favourite. And then we can be like, oh, great, he's got to do all the jobs. So yeah, let me know if people are just lying to me that this is the thing that changes. Because it's been a long time.
I've forgotten where I was going now. Gone off on a tangent.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask, because I feel like a lot of people go, oh, you'll miss it. And I'm like, that was a long time ago. You kept saying this.
So before we get on to the kind of big topic around illness that stuff that all comes with nursery, there's a few other bits and pieces that some stories I thought would be quite good to cover. Shall we discuss food?
Oh, yeah. At nursery, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lily's fantastic at nursery, eats everything. They are good though. They like have a menu they send out, like kind of seasonally. If you hear that, our neighbour's doing some work, and
they can definitely hear that.
Yeah,
that's pretty loud. Has it stopped? Is it going to start again?
Go now.
Go now. What were we saying?
Food.
They give... They started. It's no good. It's no good. Abort. Well, this will be good for the outtake episode.
Yeah, true.
A load of drilling in the background.
Right. You ready?
Yep.
Basically, Lily eats everything at nursery.
Every time you start, the drilling starts.
I feel like I have to do it really quickly, but I know that'll come off really weird in the podcast when you edit it together. That I'm like, she eats everything.
Blah, 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 blah. Do you want to try again?
Sure. So, Lily eats everything in nursery. By everything, I mean, I think they could put a dead rat in front of her and she would eat it.
Well, there's one exception.
Oh, the one exception, pizza.
Yeah.
Got something.
It's true. We've done so well so far.
So pizza is the one food that she will refuse every time.
Yeah.
Like, she refuses it with us, refused at nursery, went to a party, and she swapped her bits of pizza for people's jam sandwiches because she was like, I just don't want it even on my plate. I don't want pizza.
Yeah. Whereas in other regards, she's a very typical toddler at the moment where she's very picky with food at home.
Yeah.
We really struggle to get her to eat.
You'll notice
healthily.
it's different from like a few weeks ago. We did the podcast like, oh, she eats everything. She's so good. Now we're like, nah.
Yeah.
She's getting pretty picky. She's still like, was a bit ill like for the past 2 weeks. So now she's like getting out of that. She's eating better again.
Yeah.
But she's still picky and she's still very, like, she lets you know if she's going to eat it or not.
Yeah. And this is what I'm like, I'm always quite glad when it's a nursery day because I'm like, I know she's going to eat well.
Yeah.
She'll eat healthily. You know, I'm quite pleased that, you know, we send her to nursery. It takes the pressure off us a bit.
It does,
Like,
yeah.
you always feel like, well, it's not too bad if she's not eating great at home because
Yes.
at least 2 days a week.
2 days a week she eats
She's
well.
eating really well. It might take forever if we've got to keep pausing.
Well, we could always pause the session altogether and wait. Laura's had her nails done.
Oh.
It's like, we now know, nursery keep telling us like, oh, Lily just takes herself to the potty, goes on it, wipes herself, puts her pants and trousers up. Will she do that at home? No. Like,
No.
She literally walks herself to the potty and goes, Mama, potty. So I have to stand near her as she uses the potty and then wipe her, which I don't mind wiping her because I'm you know,
And we're still,
only 2.5.
you know, quite a long way ahead of
but
where a lot
it's
of
the
people
fact
are.
I have to walk and stand near her. And it's not like our living room's not big. It's not like I'm miles away.
We're getting off topic again, but I just
Sorry.
thought we'd share the story recently that's been hilarious where she's been desperate every time she's been on the potty to like show us her poo. Yeah. So she'd like do a poo and then be like, come and see it.
She's very proud of her poos. Like, to the point of like, she got very upset the other day because she wanted Mama to see the poo and Baba had flushed it down the toilet. And she was crying a lot. And then she had to put Baba in timeout because he hadn't listened that Mama wanted to see the poo.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Yeah. And I was like, Lily, I didn't really need to see it. Like, not that important, but it was. It was very important, apparently, that Mama saw her poo. So...
And we'll hopefully do some in the future with me in them with a special guest, not just always Emma.
We need to get more men folk on.
That'll be fun.
I'm not saying he can't host with another woman. I'm not jealous. Thought I might come off and be like controlling. So he's expressed that if he did it, he'd like to do like a father's episode or like, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We found she really likes, we have like a little portable speaker and then we were playing like some music on it and she likes like dancing round the table and then you've got to dance with her. I was like, that's almost going to be a tradition. Like if she likes dancing a lot, I'm happy to like play Christmas songs and do a lot of dancing. But she's really into that at the minute. Oh, brilliant.
Do her, she's going to be quite clubber when she gets older. She loves music and dancing, like a lot.
Our thing at the moment is everything is a song. It doesn't matter what it is that she's saying, but it's a song.
I think she often starts singing a song and I'm like, do I know it? Or have you made it up? Like I don't know if it's a song I just don't know. Or if you've just decided it's a song and therefore I'll never know it.
Just gotta go with it, yeah.
So I YouTube like song about whatever it is. Which turned out there was a song about a turtle because she kept going like turtle did it and I was like, turtle? What about a turtle? And it's like that song like I have a tiny turtle.
His name was Tiny Tim.
Yeah. So that got stuck in my head then for a whole week because I actually really enjoyed
It's very
the song.
catchy, yes.
And then like Lily was amazed when I suddenly started singing. She was like, yes, that's a turtle song I've been singing. And like nobody knew it. I was like, well, I didn't know if you'd made it up. I didn't know if you just decided you were singing about a turtle or if there actually was a turtle song. So yeah.
This is it. For so long, I think you're just their whole world, and then they go out and they get other influences, and you're like, is this something you've picked up, or are you just creating it? What is going on here?
There's like with nurseries when she knows children I don't know. So she'll like either say a name or like she'll see a child in the street and wave at them, and I'm like, do you actually know that child? Or are you randomly waving?
Round the same size, and you're just kind of going with it.
Because she's quite friendly, so I'm like, I won't put it past her to be like, hi, and not know them. But then I'm questioning myself, like, do you know them? Have I met them briefly before? How do we know this child? So, from getting off the topic of Christmas again, I think.
This is why I can't
We're not very good at it.
Just heading off on tangents. The other thing we had that Vicky won't have had was a lot of people at that age wanted to like feed her for us because we were bottle feeding.
Yeah, they did. A lot of people wanted to feed her. Which, yeah, if you are bottle feeding, it's a bit of a disadvantage. Which is fine, but like some people like they don't know like how long, and they'll like be very distracting. Like, oh, you're really enjoying that, and you're like, don't make eye contact. Don't look at it because she's going to get distracted and then she's not going to drink and then she's going to be grumpy.
So tricky.
It was. And I know they were like, because it's fun to do and you know, you want to feel like you're helping. And I used to be like, yeah, sure, you can feed it. And in my head I'd be like, give them like 10 minutes. And then I'm going to take them off and be like, oh, I'll feed them now. Yeah. So yeah, trying to be polite. Discussion. Being like, do we correct her? Because we really need to. But it is very cute how she says it wrong. So you've got to make a decision at some point to go like she for ages she said squirrels were tree bears. And she go, oh, tree bear. And like slowly she's learned the word squirrel and I'm like, is it not a tree bear? No, it's a squirrel. Okay. Yeah. No longer a tree bear.
So sad.
I know.
Yes, I think I haven't heard her say it actually for a while, I must check, but caterpillars were caterpillars for a long time. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to miss it when you're capable. Right. Yeah. Although less cute is we made binoculars at church the other Friday and she just walked around for half an hour afterwards going, look at my knockers. And I was like, great. Joy.
You were like, that's great. Thank you.
Can you maybe not? No. Yeah. Okay. No, you're stuck with that one.
That's very like if people have heard the previous episode, sexy and bimbo thing, where you're like, it's really funny in private, maybe not in public. Could we just not use that word?
So, yeah, they won't be coming to church with us on Christmas Day.
They're like, surprise!
Bless her.
Which is cute. I don't think we'll be at church on Christmas Day. Will we be travelling?
Yeah.
What time's church?
10 or 10:30.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
gonna be too
remember.
late, isn't it?
Aw,
I know.
It's a problem with our family not living close.
Like, this is
it's a challenge, isn't it?
Right, because like I liked Sunday Club last year did a really good little Christmas party. This is a tangent, but it's a good one. So my nephew Lassie is part of the Scouts in France, and their Scouts is very religious. Like it's basically like a Catholic run thing. And because his parents are Muslim, they were like, oh, is he okay? Because we have like services. They've got like a big wooden church they go to in this foresty place. And he was like, they were like, oh yeah, fine. He's been to like church with like his cousins and stuff. Anyway, Nas was really excited because every time he's been to our church, there's been like Lily's dedication or a Christmas party or the Christmas Day service. So he was really excited. And he got there. And afterwards, Becky went, oh, did you like it? And he went, it's not like Emma's church. And she was like, what do you mean? He was like, there was no food and we didn't play any games. And Becky was like, sweetie, church it's not every time you go to church there's games and food. He was like, yeah, every time we go to Emma's church, there's sweets, we play past the parcel. It's like a
solid
big,
scientific basis there. I'm
like
with him.
They're like 3 or 4 times I've been, this is what we do, because they always come at Christmas or like to one of our events. So he was very like, well, that's what church is like. And he's like, this other church, there was no food. Like, it was like there was some singing, but it didn't have any games. And I was like, it's quite impressive we've given him such a good view of church. But I was also like, well, you're sadly mistaken. It's not what church is what it's like. But I thought it was really sweet. In his head, he was like, well, it's a party. Like, we go, you do these fun things.
Oh,
yeah. So he's very disappointed when he found out that he still has a thing, though, that our church is fun church. Because he hasn't been when we've not had the thing on.
yeah.
So he was just like, oh, it's just these Catholic churches. They're not very fun.
We can tell Starbuck they've had a very positive impression on us.
Rave reviews,
It
yeah.
really made me laugh. It was like, well, there was no food. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That was a tangent, but I thought it was good storytelling.
True.
This is a side note that you're probably going to cut out, but one of my sister's older boys found the elves, and she purposely hadn't got them out this year. And they were like, oh, look, they've come late. Like, they found them in a cupboard, and she was like, great, thanks for finding them. That was great work. But it's good now because the older one, like, moves the elf around at night for the little one, so she didn't actually have to do much with it. So she was quite pleased in the end, but she said she remembers having to move the elf and it was horrendous. Can I just have a question?
Yeah.
Because it really upset me that this is people going to think it's serious. Some people have Christmas dinner without a Yorkshire pudding. And I think that's crazy. Why would you put off the best bit of a dinner?
We do love Yorkshire puddings in our house.
We do. I growing up, I was the Yorkshire pudding queen. That's all I wanted for my dinner.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's unnatural. You're going to have a roast. Why not have a Yorkshire pudding?
If you're having Christmas dinner, you better have a Christmas Yorkshire pudding.
A Christmas Yorkshire pudding.
You better have a Christmas Yorkshire pudding with your Christmas dinner.
I just wanted to know, is that normal? Is that what people... I'm outraged if that's what people do and they think that's a Christmas dinner.
Who were we talking to that didn't have a Yorkshire pudding?
Mm-hmm. I saw on TikTok somebody didn't have it and I was like, what?
Okay. I wonder if it's more of like a north-south split thing.
It might be. But then you're just wrong, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want a Yorkshire pudding?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Just saying, it upset me.
Can you say, like, introduce the last bit and say, like, have you got any parenting stories for us?
What do you want me to say?
Like that. Like,
Oh.
Do you have we got any parenting stories to shed?
Have we got any parenting shots? Have we got any parenting stories to share?
Why, Emma? Yes, we do. That was perfectly natural.
It wasn't set it that way at all, because he's just been going, ask the question, but I don't know what question.
Oh, I feel like I introduced the segments quite a lot.
You do. I need to get better at it.
Come on, co-host. Up your game.
I can't remember a story, but I think it's going to make it go too long.
Go on quickly. We can always put it in somewhere else.
My sister Becky in France, her little boy Nassie was just learning animals and things. Anyway, they were going round this zoo, and he was calling this little boy a monkey, and the little boy was mixed race.
Oh.
And Becky was like, oh my God, they're going to think we're racist, and he's picked this up off me, like, that we call people monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
And Becky was going, why are you calling this boy a monkey? And it turned out in the end, he thought, like, his backpack looked like it had a tail, like a monkey.
Right.
But he'd been, like, pointing at this child going, monkey. And Becky was so embarrassed, and she said because they were French, she didn't know if they understood. So she was like trying to apologise, being like, we haven't taught him this, I don't know where he's got this from, we're so sorry. So then she had to have an awkward conversation with Nassim afterwards, like, we can't call people monkey. But obviously in his head he was like, well, it looked like he had a tail, like a monkey. So yeah, that was an embarrassing situation for her that she had to try and remedy. Thank you for listening to our bonus episode.
It's been lovely having you with us.
Yep.
Having us with you. No, how does it work? Thank you for
listening.
Having our little voices speak into your little ears. And we'll be back next week with some new content.
Yeah.
New stuff, new topic.
Who knows what it'll be? We haven't done it yet.
Yeah, who knows? Thanks. Goodbye. Good
so long, farewell. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.